Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking a look at a figure that's one of my personal grails, to be honest. I honestly thought I'd missed this a second time, but no, I managed to grab one off eBay of all places. And yeah, this is Frieza First Form and Frieza Pod. Basically First Form Frieza. And it comes with the hover chair thing that he uses. Yeah, this is a reissue of... When was this released? I think it was 2020 or 2021. It's an older figure at this point, but it still holds up. But yeah, people asking, they were quite confused because this reissue kind of went under the radar, mostly. But yeah, we'll discuss how to tell the differences when we get to the actual box. But yeah, when this figure first released, like, I wasn't in the best of places, and couldn't afford it. That's the long and short of that. And I have regretted not being able to buy it ever since. The other one being Cooler, Final Form Cooler, which is also getting a reissue. That one did get a lot of publicity, being the, what was it, the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball at the time, something like that. Broly is coming out as well with that, but I'm not too thrilled about that anymore because Demoniacal Fits is better, quite frankly. The faces look better on that. But yeah, let's get this guy off the turntable and take a look at the box. So yeah, this reissued back in May of this year. As of this recording, it's 2025. But yeah, like I said in the first part, kind of flew under the radar, and not a lot of people know that he was even reissued, which is surprising, considering the fact I believe he was like revealed to be getting reissued about the same time as Fat Boo, Majin Buu, and he got a lot of publicity. So yeah, not sure how that happened, but yeah, a few UK stores got him in a couple of months ago. I thought I'd missed him again because I didn't realise at the time that he was releasing, but yeah, eBay to the rescue, I suppose. Now, to tell if this is a reissue or not, it's all due to that sticker right there, the Tamashii seal of quality, that one right there. This is the newer style sticker, the really small one. The old one was, I don't even have a figure handy to show, but yeah, it's like the really big one, and it was over here, I believe. So yeah, if your sticker's over here and it's quite a large sticker, you have the original. If you have that one, you have the reissue. It's as simple as that. But yeah, in terms of the box, it's actually quite a large or deep box, obviously because it has to accommodate the hover chair. But yeah, we have a nice image of him on the side there. Warning, choking hazard. Designed by Tamashii Nations, Japan. Made in Vietnam. So yeah, this was around, well, the original release was around the time Vietnam factory was first opening, and it had a lot of teething problems. Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Trunks, Boy from the Future, both massively suffered from that. Hard to believe that Trunks is a few years old at this point. Jeez, oh. But yeah, Frieza First Form and Frieza Pod, that is one of the most awkward names you could have given it to Tamashii without giving it a subtitle, which you do now quite often, but yeah. On the side, we have some more images here. I do have to say, the faces with this guy are good, but on the picture, they look far better. And I also have a bit of issue with mine. I'm not sure if it's purely due to the fact that it's a reissue or not. But yeah, once we take a look at the accessories, I'll show you. It's with the eyes. So yeah. And on the back, we have some more images of poses and things like that. He does come with a Dragon Ball. I am not sure if the reissue actually comes with a different type of Dragon Ball, because I've not looked at any reviews in a long time, unfortunately. But yeah, the Dragon Ball it shows on the back is the clear type, and the one that came in the box is the activated type, which I was sure was from the second batch of Namek figures. But yeah, we'll get into that later on. And it likes to roll everywhere. Oh, for goodness sake. I shouldn't have touched it. Yeah, we have some Chinese import sort of stuff. So wherever the eBay seller got his from, it was Hong Kong by the looks of it. So yeah, nice. But other than that, standard Figuarts box. Let's get it out of the way and take a look at the accessories. So, in terms of accessories, he actually comes with a fair bit. I'll show the hover chair off in a separate part just after this, because obviously the hover chair technically counts as an accessory. They're counting it as part of the figure, but yeah, you have to dismantle the figure to use the accessory, so yeah. Kind of strange how it's laid out. We get two heads, one which is more relaxed eyebrows, and one which is sort of furrowed eyebrows, which is more angry or surprised, things like that. We get 5 faces in total, but 3 of them only work with this head, and 2 of them only work with that one. So yeah, kind of strange how they've worked that out. We get his scouter, and we get 2 sort of earpieces. One of the earpieces works with the surprised faces, and one works with the relaxed faces. Again, I don't know why we couldn't have just had one, but hey-o. I would also say these don't actually work the best, those earpieces. I will probably just be displaying Frieza with his scouter, because it hides the gap a lot more. Yeah, for some reason, the faces, they just have this big massive square hole in them. And if you take these, that's got a 2 behind it, so I'm assuming that's for the other ones. And this is a 1. There we go. Yeah, so you pop that in, and yeah, you can quite clearly see the outline of where it goes in. So yeah, not the best thought out, to be completely honest with you, but it's an option. You can use it if you wish. So in terms of the faces, we get the standard smirk, which is on him in the package. Sorry. We get a slightly more puckered lip smirk, which is a more evil look, I believe. Then we have his angry, I'm going to kill all you worms face that he used on Namek. Then we have his beautiful fireworks face from when he destroyed Namek. Not destroyed Namek, destroyed Planet Vegeta. And finally, a really ticked off angry face, which, yeah, looks good. It's a bit exaggerated for my liking, but hey, that is Frieza. We get, as I said, the powered up Dragon Ball, which is really nice. That when you shine light at that, let me see here, yeah, it glows so nicely. Really hard to show that off, unfortunately. Sorry, headphone users there. But yeah, really nice. If you put that in a display with some light behind it, that will really glow. And we get 3 pairs of hands. Well, I say pairs. We get 2 pairs of hands and 2 sort of odd ones. Pair of fists, pair of grippy style hands for his sort of pose. And we get the hand where he's sort of smirking, the ho 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 sort of face. Yeah, I'm not Santa. And finally we get his sort of death ball / death beam hand with this, I'll be frank with you, pathetic effect part. That is tiny. There was no need for it to be as small as that. You may as well not have included that, Tamashii. Hey-o. But yeah, that is it for the accessories. Oh, I will show you the issue I have with these though. I'm not sure if this is due to the reissue or not, but if we bring this one in particular, because it's the most noticeable, if you just take a look right there, can we see that? No, we can't really see it. Yeah, that is hard to show up on camera actually. That's a bit disappointing. I'll show that off in the second part then. Bear with me. So let's get the camera pan back up. Okay, so yeah, you can see it a bit better now. You see how there's a clear line through his eyes, and they're slightly pinkish at that bit. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel as if the factory has painted the pink line down his face, but not missed out the eyes, and now the pink is literally going through the eyes. Like, once you notice it, it's impossible not to notice it, and it's really frustrating. Every single face here has that same issue, to varying degrees. But yeah, it's most noticeable on this like maniacal laughing face. So yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. I am not sure if that's due to the reissue or not. I don't think anyone's ever pointed that out on the original before. But yeah, something to keep in mind. So yeah, back to regularly scheduled programming. The final accessory we get is his hover chair, obviously. When I took this out the packet, the box was completely sealed. It was a brand new figure. Yeah, this one was covered in like white smudges and dust everywhere. So not sure what's going on there, but it easily cleaned off, and it looks really, really nice. The sort of semi-matte black with the metallic gold really gives it a sort of regal appearance, which, I mean, he's the Emperor of the Universe. He needs good stuff to sit on. Yeah, it's really cleanly applied all the way around. In fact, I think they are just all separate pieces. The gold right there. They don't look like one piece. They're way too clean for that. But yeah, what is this down the bottom here? Oh, I did not know that. I just noticed that compartment there. Yeah, you can stick a Tamashii stage into that. That's very handy to know. I don't know if I've ever seen someone mention that before on this. Yep, very handy. Very handy indeed. Put that back on for now. I knew there had to be something, like... but yeah, that is very good to know. In terms of the stand it comes with, it's okay. It does the job, I suppose. It has ridges on the bottom, which fit into the ridges on the hover chair, and it sort of, it doesn't lock in place, but it doesn't swivel or anything either. So yeah, works quite well. And inside we have the lower half of Frieza, which has been chopped off, and the console, which is very nicely detailed, I have to say. And we also have a compartment in the back, which Frieza's freezer, maybe? That was a terrible joke, I apologise. But yeah, we have an attachment point here, which is in a really awkward angle for me here in camera. It would be. Could never be easy, would it? There we go. So yeah, that is for part of his tail. His tail on the figure comes off, and his lower half detaches, and you just pop him in there. Simple as that. In fact, let's do that now, shall we? I'll also be testing at the end to see if the Dragon Stars top half fits in this. I very much doubt it. I think it's a different size of peg, but yeah, it's always worth trying, because I do have that figure. Let's pop his lower legs over there. So yeah, this part of his tail pops off. We slot that in there. I won't do it the entire way, but yeah, it's sculpted in such a way that it actually hangs quite naturally over the side of the hover chair. To get Frieza himself in it, we want to put him in the T-pose position, and then absolutely fail to pop him onto that ball peg. Come on. There we go. Good. And yeah, just like that, Frieza is good to go in his little hover chair. One of the most powerful beings in the universe, and he doesn't even feel the need to fly. He just uses his hover chair most of the time. But yeah, looks really good. He fits in there really, really well. I do like it. I'm definitely going to struggle figuring out whether I want him in the chair or using his legs. Whichever one I choose, the Dragon Stars will probably be filling in for the other version, because I'm not putting the hover chair away. Absolutely not. But yeah, easy enough to pop him back out. Like so. Easy enough. There we go. There we go. Pop that back over there. And Frieza, you've seen better days. Yeah, issue with, I think, both versions of the figure, both releases, is the face that comes on him in the package is very loose on the head. It tends to pop off very often, so I would recommend thickening up those pegs that hold that in. So yeah, top half just pops on easy enough, and bottom half pegs in like so. So yeah, I suppose now is as good a time as any to look at Frieza himself. And yeah, overall really, really nice design. First form Frieza, I know a lot of people like second form, and a lot of people like third, and quite a few people like the fourth form. I'm a sucker for the first form. It's what he was introduced in, and it was, quite frankly, his most menacing look, because he just went about the entirety of Planet Namek destroying people in this form. And then we realised he can get even stronger. So yeah, really, really nice. I like it. The one thing I wish they would have done a bit better is the purple. Purple on the armour, I can deal with it just being a straight purple. But the head, should the head not be a metallic purple, Tamashi? Like, Final Form Frieza here, he has all this really nice metallic paint job to his chrome dome and to the parts of his body that are purple. Whereas this Frieza is just plain. Apologies, jump cut there. But yeah, hay fever is getting to me a little bit. Sneezing fits all over. All it takes is for one good day in Scotland, and the hay fever just takes over. Fun. But yeah, anyway, the paint is okay with the purple. I really wish it was a more metallic purple, to be quite honest. But yeah, there's quite a few places that have been painted on this figure, which is surprising. They don't tend to do that these days. But yeah, we have the purple here that's painted. I think it's also a separate piece on top of that. We have the purple here, which has been painted. I think the white is the base colour. Yep, there it is. That's the base colour of his armour. And then we have the sort of mustardy brown on the armour pieces, which are all painted as well. And then they've even painted his fingers and toes. And also purple on his tail as well. But yeah, pink is really nice. That is just the colour of the plastic. They've chose a really good colour there. The one thing I will say is the colour of his face does not match the colour of his neck. which I am not sure if it's meant to or not. I think the Dragon Stars matches, but yeah, this one, his face is a bit darker colour than his upper torso and neck, which is a bit annoying, but hey, we will deal with it. So yeah, the heads as well. I think the first release was a bit tight to pop the heads on and off, but on this one, they are almost on the loose gummy side. They don't really pop in. You hear a slight pop, but it's not satisfying at all, and it just, yeah, it doesn't like staying in place. It sort of moves about. Speaking of articulation wise, he is actually pretty decent as long as the face doesn't come off. For the size of head he has, you can look up pretty damn well. He can look down decently as well. You can pop it back, but yeah, that gumminess of the neck just sort of pops it back up, which is a bit annoying. Despite the fact that he has an old ball hinge style neck, it is quite long, so yeah, you do get some nice pivot side to side. The neck also pivots side to side, and his face falls off. That is lovely. Swivel, and yeah, all the usual stuff. Really good. The shoulder pads are older style than what we're used to, so they pop up the way. They are on a hinge, as opposed to the ball joint that we get nowadays with the 24,000 power level Vegeta, for example, or Turles, or Rage Mode Broly. So yeah, you pop those up, and if you do so, you can get swivel. It kind of gets in the way, and it also looks a bit daft trying to use that articulation there. He does have a 2.0 style butterfly joint, which, I mean, let's be honest, with the pointiness of this shoulder here getting right into the way, it doesn't really do anything at all. You can kind of maneuver it around it, but it kind of just looks awkward. Yeah, that's as far as you're getting. I apologise, I keep taking this off of camera frame. It's because of how small this figure actually is. We get a bicep rotation right there. Double joint at the elbow, gets just past 90 because of his forearm armour. Speaking of, the forearm armour itself swivels, so if you swivel out the way, you can get slightly more range. Just bear that in mind. Ball hinge at the wrist, standard stuff. The ab crunch is your standard 2.0 style. Pull it up and pop it forward to get the range you need. It's not the greatest range, but it'll do. You can go back just as far, and we do get some pivot and hinge. Swivel at the waist, a little bit of pivot at the waist, but it's mostly just a swivel, even though it is a ball joint. Legs are 2.0, so you can only get that far out in terms of a spread. You can kick up about that far. You can kick back a bit, but because of his tail in the way, that is essentially just a solid butt flap right there, so you can only really get back that far. Thigh rotation, double joint at the knee, gets decent range, and probably, quite honestly, the first figure to ever do this, actually predating Legendary Super Saiyan Goku. The feet are on a ball peg at the top, so you can maneuver it whichever way you choose to give his feet more range of motion. So you can pop it back the way to get it forward, and then pop it forward to get loads back. Also, quite nice ankle pivot right there. No toe articulation though, because he has 3 fingers, or 3 toes. So yeah, I've also noticed this section down the bottom here is kind of a soft plastic. You can see it sort of moving out of the way of that there. So just something to bear in mind. And finally, the tail, which is horrendous how they do it these days. I don't know why we don't just do the way we done with the original Frieza, where it just plugs directly into his backside. Why do we need to sculpt a bit of it coming out first? That just looks awkward as anything, and it means that if you ever use the articulation, his tail essentially breaks when you're doing it. So yeah, not fond of that. But it is a ball hinge, and of course pops off for the chair gimmick. So yeah, overall, really nice figure. Suffering a little bit from mold degradation, I feel. Some of these joints don't feel the best. They feel a bit gummy, especially the head, the neck piece. This top shoulder here as well doesn't really like to sit in position. It just pops itself back out. So yeah, overall, just something to be aware of if you're purchasing this guy, and obviously the face issue. Now, bonus part, let's just see. Well, first of all, let's compare sizes with the Dragon Stars Frieza, shall we? And try not to absolutely destroy the hover chair. So, Dragon Stars Frieza absolutely towers over Figuarts Frieza. Right there. That's almost like father and son. Right there. That's mental, the height difference. But I'm willing to honestly kind of overlook it. This to me is Namek Saga, or the Bardock special Frieza, where he is really small. This one to me is more Dragon Ball Super Frieza, where he comes back in Resurrection F in his first form. So yeah, both will fit quite nicely in my display. I just want to have them next to one another. One thing I will note though is I didn't realise just how dark the purples were on Dragon Stars Frieza. They're almost like black on his armour and on his forehead. That's quite strange. I didn't notice that before. But yeah, the Dragon Stars Frieza to me still looks decent. It's just that limiting factor with the arm, the shoulder pads being just stuck in place. They do not move. So yeah, bit of a shame right there. But it is what it is. Obviously, well, he splits apart easily enough. I'm glad we figured that one out. Yeah, that peg I can already tell is a different size. So if this is going to work, it's going to have to be with blue tack. Heads are also a different size peg, so those won't be swappable, I'm afraid. But yeah, let's just see how this looks in the hover chair, like so. And yeah, that still looks decent. Yeah, I think I'll just have the Dragon Stars in the hover chair, to be honest. That looks actually really good. That will work quite well. Does Dragon Star's tail come apart, I wonder? Comes apart there, and that's a completely different peg system. With this side, no, that pops out there. I'm also noticing the tail on Dragon Stars Frieza is really tall, like really long, sorry. So obviously the tail for Dragon Stars Frieza does not fit whatsoever. I'm getting a bit stuck here. Let's see, can I sort of fudge it, maybe? Yeah, that might work. Yeah, that's decent. So yeah, if you have a spare Dragon Stars Frieza with the pod, you can indeed just stick it in there it will work decently well. And I even have the effect that came with that Dragon Stars Frieza, which is much better than the one that came with Figuarts. This thing is a massive orange ball, quite metallic, and it has some electricity effects and things like that. So yeah, probably sticking that Frieza with this and calling it a day. But overall, it is a really nice kit. I really like this Frieza. I am very glad I bought it, honestly. Very, very glad. So yeah, guys, if I can find a link to it, I'll put it in the description. If anything, there'll probably be an Amazon link, but Amazon tends to be a bit expensive or overpriced when it comes to Figuarts. So it's up to yourselves if you want to look for this guy yourselves. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.